Karia anato ariash usataki tiata anar. Kiani suturu krara ni turur tatatat nir. Tayana urush. Isera karat oronatoi usuko ainek aro. Kaina kada arugut nyai. Hu kush noi kun na anatu toratata. Ikuria sanata arius unuku atakar is unutukurush. Oi seri anatas et na ada uriana ash ain kitar. Isu ta. Isiriku utar na sarash kudeta anyar atukush. Yakuni anari tata ku ay anakara tata uf kayarana ha no tof iki inohai yosht kara anata ur otatist kanahar kau surutu kuri tanatu tkaryata aar. Good day. My name is NATURANKAH. I am the higher self aspect of this channel. We come today with a message for the collective, for those who have ears to hear. We are here. We'd like to talk about a subject that we like to talk about a lot. But today we'd like to go a little bit more in depth, however, elevating it to a place where your logical mind can begin to grasp the concept of timeline jumping. Because you know you're not bound by time, you are timeless, yet you are stuck in this endless time loop, not as a punishment or as a bad thing, but at your request. And your generations upon generations upon generations have been experiencing this time loop. This is why history repeats itself, or seemingly repeats itself. And your collective is now timeline jumping more aggressively than they ever have before. Simply due to your social media channels and your exchanges of information amongst you, whether it be true or false. This is irrelevant. Because all it is conjuring up emotions. Whether it is positive, what you label positive, or whether it is negative, what you label as negative. It is neither. But these channels of your social media and the exchange of information has caused great ripple effects in your collective consciousness ocean, if you will, where there are tsunamis coming your way through your collective consciousness. And at this time, we understand, and we have forewarned you in the past, but we understand that more of the collective, the unawakened and slightly awakened collective, are beginning to get on board with their awakening process through their realizations. Of the big game of smoke and mirrors that has always been going on in the time loop. This part of the collective is the third wave of consciousness that will be waking up, and the final wave. And through your conspiracies, you are able to connect in such a way and elevate in such a way that causes a lot of lower and negative vibrations. And while some of these conspiracies you would call facts or truth are actually happening, a lot of them are not. But the truth is whether or not they are happening to you right here and right now in your current reality, where you are standing, sitting, lying down, driving, whatever you are doing in this now moment, or any of those conspiracies happening in your immediate reality now? No. And if they are, you must trust that you called it forth, intentionally or unintentionally. Oh, you are so powerful. You must know this by now. And while we do not shame or guilt any of you for looking at the conspiracies or diving deep into them, we ask that you allow that to be the catalyst for your search for truth within yourself, because you will never find it within your governments. You will never find it within your entertainment. You will never find it within your social structures. You will never find it in your neighbor, your husband, your wife, your kids, your parents, your family. You will find it within yourself. You will find the truth of who you are within yourself, and all else shall fall away once that fully succeeds. And we will remind you that your success in finding your truth within yourself, within your still place, within the equilibrium of who you are, those moments where you just be and know yourself, and how perfect and beautiful you are in this moment. No more of those moments strung together will allow all the others, conspiracies and negativity to fall away. We know it is not easy. And not only will those things fall away, but those who are requesting their ascension will be ignited by yours. Simply because you chose to be. Your world will get more weird as the time loop progresses. There will be things of grave concern for you and humanity. And we ask you at this time to hold fast the still of darkness. And we will remind you that those who proclaim light, love, health, wealth, and yet they are at the top and unattainable. Those who claim to be leaders of the new world, of the new era, of a new age, of a golden age, they're not necessarily bad, what you would label as bad, but there is a lot of smoke and mirrors. And you do not need to spend time questioning your external reality or that which has been projected towards you through your social media channels. Again, none of this is bad. None of this is to guilt. None of this is to shame. It is a part of the process. It is a part of your journey. It is okay. It is okay to feel what you feel when you see what you see, whether it be truth or false. It is the emotion at hand that you are feeling that is most important. It is this emotion at hand that will lead you to your truth. And the only way this emotion at hand can lead you to your truth is if you allow it to be what it is and not stifle it, not oppress it, not shut it up, not sweep it under the rug, but just feel it. Feel it in its entirety and accept it for who it is and what it is and what its purpose is. And you will learn how to become the alchemist of your own life. Because once you ascend, there will not be a removal of lower negative emotions. They will still exist in a state of harmony. We understand that it's hard for you to conceptualize because you associate anger with bad and anger with violence and anger with destruction. But we guarantee you anger is not any of those things. It has fueled lower vibrational entities of your world, just as gas fuels your car. Is gas neither bad or good? Or is it just a substance? It had no use before you invented your vehicles. So what was it then? And it is the same thing with your emotions. In some planes, in some dimensions, in some planets, there are emotions that you have never felt before. And in those same places, you cannot feel the same set or range of emotions that you feel here on Earth. The range that you feel on Earth is appropriate for the frequency that Earth currently vibrates at. Eventually, when you learn to become timeless and you exit the time loop, some of you call it exiting the matrix. We don't like to use the word matrix too much because it has a lot of negative connotations attached to it due to your social influences. But as you begin to exit the time loop by coming into your stillness more often with no agenda other than to be with thyself, the range of emotions will expand in your awareness and expand within the collective consciousness, and you will begin to use those new emotions to build your new earth. New Earth is a process. It has to be built, and it has to be built by you. But if you choose to stay in the time loop by consciously choosing to look at a reality that does not belong to you, it is okay to allow yourself to be influenced in either direction. But when you step into the energy of obsessiveness, you ground yourself into a time loop, and there's multiple time loops. It's not one linear timeline that you live on. They're like little vortices, little tiny vortices everywhere, created by individuals, spun as fast and wide as they can to attract more into its center. This is how everything works. And whether it is true or not, whether it is physically happening somewhere or not, the energy that they conjure up from the collective is being used to feed the time loop that you are so desperately trying to escape. Be very mindful in what you consume and how long you consume it and how you feel while you consume it. Because your potential does not lie in doomsday prophecies. Your purpose does not lie there. And if it does, then you will not be hearing this message. This message is for those who are willing to transform and become the alchemist and the master of themselves. Not egoless, because we will remind you again, you must have an ego in order to obtain a physical vehicle. But a master who oversees the ego and has a relationship with the ego, and there is balance, and there is harmony, and there is understanding, and there is trust, and there is respect. Both ways. But right now, most of humanity only knows of the ego and believes the ego is the master. It is a beautiful marriage between you and your higher self that you are trying to obtain. And it will be obtained. And you will become timeless. And you will choose your exit out of this matrix. When, where, how, and how beautiful you would like it to be. When you exit this time loop, you will become timeless and you will not age. Not because it is some mystical light fairy miracle that all of a sudden from one day to the next you never die. Eternal life is about living into the light body, where you have a physical vessel and the light vessel operating in harmony at the same time. Knowing that you can exit the physical body and maintain the light body without the traumatic transition that is required of death and birth. And so you will become timeless because you will be living so harmoniously with yourself, with your higher self, with that knowledge of the higher self perspective all the time, with the individual ego of free will to exercise that higher self bird's eye view of life and possibilities, and also living in harmony with your ground planet, which is Earth at this moment. When those three things are living harmoniously, you become timeless and you become ageless. It is instinct, second nature, divine knowledge that is within you that you will finally recognize, and you will know exactly how to maintain and preserve your body and nourish your body and renew your body and regenerate your body into the highest form of light that you possibly can obtain while still obtaining physicality. And you will do everything in line that allows you to have life without fail. Do not worry about the elite or those who are the powers that be. Do not worry about anyone, because they cannot touch you. No matter what you see happening to your brothers and sisters, no matter what, remember that they cannot touch you. As long as you keep coming to your practices, keep coming to your equilibrium, come into your meditations, come into your state of being. Do what you can with what you have. The answer is not out there with anyone else. And we understand how difficult at times that is for any of you, because of the programs, the neurological programs that are so deeply ingrained in your brain and your genetic makeups. But we do guarantee you it is changing daily, and your cells respond, your body responds, and it sings in complete praise of you every time you come into these spaces and these places of stillness for yourself, to know yourself. And it's okay when you go back out into the world and you put a mask or 2 or 3 on and you get bombarded and run down and feel weak. It's okay, because you get to come back to these places and these spaces when you can, and recharge and regenerate and renew and refresh and nourish your body to the best of your ability. Yes, it is best to eat your vegetables and your fruits and as clean as you possibly can. We understand that. But for those who are in a place where they cannot afford or believe they cannot afford, you do the best that you can, and you pray and you bless the food that is in front of you, and you give thanks to it as it nourishes your body. There is more nourishment in that than any organic health food you will ever find for sale. You do the best that you are given, and you believe and you trust in the goodness of who you are. And that has more power than any elitist could ever wish for. And you will be led to the next inspiration, and you will be led to the next decision, and you will be led to the next person and the next information, and on and on and on and on, until before you know it, you are fully timeless, out of the time loop. And we will end here. And we thank you so much for spending time with us in your quest for truth. We love you so much. As above, so below, and so be it.